with ADHD as an adult. It's going countless years not knowing why I couldn't remember my childhood.
This is so true, and for the longest time I worried that I'd had like significant trauma happen to me because I just can't remember anything. And like in my head I'd be like, why can't I remember? Like what went so wrong? And it makes so much sense that it's down to ADHD and struggling to process things as a child, even more so than we do now. And it's sad because other people remember so much stuff and they're just like talking about how amazing their childhoods were. And mine wasn't a bad childhood by any stretch of the imagination, but it wasn't the best, and I don't remember much at all. And that is actually really sad, and I totally get where this video is coming from with how emotional that is to process as an adult of what we've missed.
TikTok made me buy this. It's a flame humidifier that looks insane and makes your room smell amazing. Just add water and perfume or cologne and you're good to go.
Some autistic people struggle with low self-esteem. This can come from receiving more corrective feedback on average from both authority figures and peers. No, not like that. Shh, you need to sit quietly. That's kind of babyish. Low self-esteem can come from experiencing consistent failures in the same situations. For example, if you frequently get corrected for interrupting due to not knowing when it is your turn to speak, you may eventually stop trying to join conversations altogether. If you frequently mess up when playing a new game due to not understanding the rules, you may eventually decline invitations to play new games. This avoidance can come from having too many negative experiences. Self-esteem only grows when you watch yourself succeed. Bullying also harms self-esteem in autistic people, as 63% of us experience it compared to only 19% of non-disabled people. If someone is experiencing consistent failures in the same situations, it means they need more support to be successful.
And tonight had something wonderful. My bad habits lead to late nights, sitting alone, conversations with a stranger I barely know, swearing this will be the last, but it probably won't. I got nothing left to lose or use, or do my bad habits lead to white eyes staring into space, and I know I lose control of the things that I say. Yeah, I was looking for a way out, now I can't escape.
So I'm at Target doing my usual shopping. I'm also looking for Squishmallows, and I found something really exciting. You bet I'm getting different colors.
I used to feel the same exact way about myself. I could not get anything done. I didn't think I was disciplined enough. I made this template, and yes, it has grown to something that looks like this, but it started off very simple, where I had maybe 3 or 4 habits that I check off throughout the day, and I just had weekly goals and monthly goals too. When my psychiatrist mentioned ADHD to me, it really did resonate and it brought a lot of clarity, but I didn't know what to do with any of that information. I didn't know how to become a productive human being. So I started by just making lists. I got out a piece of paper and I made a list of things I needed to get done that day or habits that I wanted to create, and I just checked them off, and that provided a little bit of dopamine. And even if you're not diagnosed with ADHD, you may realize that your brain works a little differently and you need things that are similar to what I have made. Start small, maybe one thing that you want to get done every day. And over time, stack those things and you'll become disciplined.
Oh, whoa! I feel fucked up probably forever. Ba-da-da-da.
I keep seeing ads for this. Y'all, I'm sure it's a great show, but I have some words. We all already know that straight, cis, white, autistic men exist. In fact, we expect autistic people to be cis, straight, white men because we only ever see all of those things together. And it reminds me of when I was younger and I couldn't differentiate between someone's gender presentation and their sexual orientation. And I didn't realize until later that you could be hella femme and also super gay if you wanted to be, because I hadn't seen it before. So just saying, I exist. And what I mean by that is there's a difference between someone's autism and their behaviors, personality, need level, IQ, gender expression, etc. Watch with context.
I left before you woke up. I don't feel right. See you sober. You want me to forget you? Okay, forget me too. You tell me you hate me, baby. Yeah, I bet you do. I'm keeping you waiting, but I won't wait on you. Want me to forget you? Okay, forget me too.
You talked about the things you really liked about Extraordinary Attorney Woo, so it sounds like you really liked the show. Well, it is really seductive. That sounds like a bad thing. I believe in acknowledging the good in something, especially when we're stuck with it. I mean, the show exists. It's highly popular. It's not going away. So I want to amplify the things that are good about it, but we also need to acknowledge the very real and very harmful things that it's doing. So people shouldn't like the show or watch it. I'm not here to sway anyone's enjoyment to or away from anything, but I think we should all educate ourselves on different perspectives so that we are consuming things with our eyes fully open to both the positive and the very real negative influence a show can have on people's lives. So, I mean, with that in mind, I think everyone should watch this creator's playlist on the show. It's sobering. I'll definitely check their videos out. Do you have anything to add? I do, and I want to add weight behind their observation that Young-Woo is a very docile autistic. She's highly attractive, she's acquiescent, and she's infantilized and treated like a pet by most everyone. And that's because her autism is docile. What do you mean by that? The way her autism manifests isn't disruptive. She doesn't have to miss work because of overload. She doesn't have to excuse herself from meetings. She doesn't have major emotional responses, even to incredibly emotional cases or when people are screaming at her. Like, her autistic traits barely need any accommodation at all. All of her autistic traits are maybe weird, but still cute and adorable. Exactly. So everyone wants to make her their pet. I really, really hope that by the end of this season, she gets, 1, a backbone and starts having her own agency, telling people off and the like, and 2, that we see some autistic traits that actually need accommodations. We're stuck with the show, so you're hoping things start turning around. Yeah, we've kind of seen her stand up to her dad and start to seek her own independence, which is a good start, but we have a long way to go. What other problems does the show have? Well, the Korean title of the show is literally Weird Attorney Woo. That doesn't sit